Okay, good afternoon. I'm John Jacocks, President and CEO of Empower RF Systems. I'm pleased to be presenting today in conjunction with this program with Arrow RF and Power. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our company, a little bit about our connection with Arrow RF and Power, and then we're going to talk very specifically about our Size Matters amplifier platforms. We'll reserve questions, if you would, to the end of the presentation, and let's get started. Empower RF Systems, founded in 1999, private equity funded about year 2006. We are headquartered, fully equipped R&D and related corporate activities out of Los Angeles, California. We also have a design center in New York. CM partnerships worldwide that handle varying degrees of design and manufacturing requirements. We're U.S. small business ISO certified. And our value proposition, we provide amplifier solutions, broadband and band-specific solid-state amplifiers for a variety of applications, all with the recurring theme of power amplifier. Whether it's communications, radar, electronic warfare, or test and measurement, the Empower product line is purpose-built for those power amplifier in-use applications. A couple of things I want to point out on this particular slide. Broadband solid state. Device agnostic, meaning that our designers are quite comfortable with LDMOS, they're quite comfortable with gallium nitride, they're quite comfortable with GaAs FETs. We are going to make a game time application specific decision about the devices depending on that application. Okay, thermal management, and again, we are purpose built for broadband and band specific solid state amplifiers. So everything that we do, I'll let you read along, and the people that will be dialing in on YouTube, hopefully you can see that slide. We're in the business of amplifiers. Again, these are modules. Looking left to right at this slide, these are amplifier modules. These are amplifier multifunction assemblies. These are larger rack mount amplifier solutions. The recurring theme, it's broadband or band specific, it's 6 gigahertz and below. So these are modules that are tens and hundreds of watts, all the way up to multi-kilowatt multifunction amplifier systems. Skipping ahead, a unique program. We believe that it is unique in the industry and certainly unique among amplifier suppliers such as ourselves. We are joined with Arrow RF and Power. We have an inventory program that's been in effect for about the last 3 years. We've got a relationship that dates back about 10 years with what was Richardson Electronics. A variety of amplifiers are offered from inventory in a dynamic updating website environment that provides the best building block amplifiers that we believe should be of interest to customers between our two companies, available and inventory status available at all times through our website and through the Arrow website. Moving ahead. Size matters, consider the possibilities. The theme for this presentation, Empower RF Systems has innovated a very high performance, smallest size we believe available in this industry for broadband amplifiers. The particular example of amplifier shown, 20 megahertz to 1 gigahertz, that's a 1 kilowatt unit. Empower RF Systems unit on the right. Other available systems in the industry on the left. I'm talking about a size comparison of a refrigerator versus a small suitcase. So we believe it's a very compelling story. We invite everybody to come to our booth 523 to see for yourself and understand the operation of these amplifiers. Just a little bit about the design itself, and I'm not going to dive deep in terms of the actual tips and tricks of how to make this kind of amplifier, but a couple of things that I want to point out. We are driving from a very common architecture. The whole idea with these amplifier platforms is to build them the same way every time and to derive a family of products from this platform approach. Driver stages, output pallets, complex motherboard, digital assembly, and digital control, all put together in a way that allows us to achieve about an 80% commonality of parts. Gives us a lot of supply chain velocity, gives us a lot of opportunity for economies of scale. Taking a look at a related product. This is the baby brother of the one that I just showed you. This is 500 watts in a 3U chassis. It's the same architecture, it's the same approach. What we've done is eliminate 2 pallets. Fast forwarding, part of the amplifier design itself, it's a software architecture that's complementary to the hardware architecture. The idea here, it's the same way, to be able to put in place a sensor network in that amplifier that allows it to be controlled in a unique way. It features microprocessors, it features FPGAs as part of a sensor network that controls the amplifier itself. Power supplies are architected in a similar way so that we have a power supply deck that looks exactly the same regardless of the amplifier and the frequency coverage itself. A little bit difficult for the folks here in the hall to read, but what I want to point out is there's a fan out of products here. These are all products that have been developed by Empower RF Systems utilizing that same architecture, that same approach, that same one driving 4 output pallet idea. These are different frequency ranges, different power levels, all based around that same approach, the same theme. So again, the consider the possibilities moments is you're providing frequency coverage in very high power in a 5U chassis, potentially in a 3U chassis, or even higher powers in some combinations that include outdoor enclosures. So it's an amplifier platform unlike anything that you've seen or will see in this presentation hall. And we invite you again to come to booth 523, or if you're looking at this presentation later on YouTube, call us, connect with us, Empower RF Systems, and we can arrange a virtual tour to show you this product. Just to illustrate, this is a recurring theme and I want to show you again. This is just another example to highlight a very high power variation of the same deck. What we're looking at here is 2 identical RF decks architected exactly the same way to give you, in this case, 2 kilowatts of power. So again, we've approached this with a design architecture, a hardware architecture, complemented by a software architecture that's going to give us repeatable, high performance, and also allow us to leverage an awful lot of the supply chain when we put these together. A little bit of an illustration of old versus new. People want to know, how do you manage to get this amplifier in such a small size? One of the ways that we do that is we've eliminated every cable and connector we know how to eliminate. If you look at the picture up on the left, that's a legacy old style amplifier. You see parts in a box, you see cables, you see connectors. The amplifier on the right, you see a much more streamlined design. We've eliminated every cable and connector we know how to get rid of. And so again, when it comes time for manufacturing, when it comes time for repeatability, that hardware architecture, if we stay true to that hardware architecture, we're going to avoid this kind of construction on the left. A little bit of what else is going on related to these products. We have the high power amplifier chassis. We also have complementary driver modules. These are 100-watt modules in some very specific bands, broadband modules that are intended to be drivers used internally, but also for sale to the general public, also available at some point through Arrow inventory. So I'll give you just a second, take a look at those. The frequency and power combinations are pretty specific, and they support our internal requirements, and they will also be offered for sale to the general public. If it looks like that picture is blurry, it's because it is. We grayed out just a little bit. These slides will live on the internet, and we didn't necessarily want to show every single design trick that we have. But I want to illustrate that, again, the approach to this architecture is that you're doing things the same way, the same time, and you're laying it out in such a way that you get repeatability on the RF deck. So the size and the layout of devices, the size and the layout of the mounting holes, the size and the layout of the thermal management strips, all of that is done in a very blueprint kind of way. So it's done in such a way that we are going to see repeatability every time. So whether it's 20 megahertz to 1 gigahertz, 1 gigahertz to 3 gigahertz, 2 gigahertz to 6 gigahertz, you're going to see the same approach when you lift the cover on one of those amplifiers. That architecture is going to be very consistent. Focus of our efforts, some other things, some coming attractions, things to be aware of from Empower RF Systems. We will continue to proliferate this platform. Today's models include 20 to a gig, right? And we've got variations around that, 6 different fan outs related to that, primarily in the lower frequencies and L band, a little bit of S band. We're also right now working on a 1 to 3 that will be released very soon. We're working on a 2 to 6 gigahertz that will be released very soon. That approach, that's going to keep us busy, but that's what you can expect from Empower RF Systems over the coming months. Last but not least, please come see us. We're a couple of steps down here. Booth 523. We're running live demos right now of the 1 kilowatt unit as well as the 500 watt unit. We're running those live demos. For anybody who's, again, going to see this presentation later from the website, contact us. We will arrange a virtual demonstration for you of these products. That's my presentation. Questions?